The fifth element and the electric force.
This is the first article that I actually came to realize the true structure of the universe and that the universe is a cascading, naturally occurring crystal core quantum computer. I, in fact, didn't actually even fully grasp what I was actually saying, but over the course of several days, weeks, and months, as I progressed with my work, these concepts truly started to sink in. Orion, February 26, 2023, 2:49 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
About this video article. Cerebral, this post was a thinking out loud thought process that is intended only as reference. It is cerebral in nature and should be considered as such. This article is being turned into a video article in 2023 and will be included in the 2015 flashback video article playlist for posterity. While the article could be completely rewritten to better communicate some of the points within, it is being created and included the way it was written, with some minor edits, primarily to preserve it, and to convey the thought process I was going through at the time it was written, and, obviously, I had not come to the conclusions and realizations that I have now come to. I had not yet come to realize that the universe itself is a naturally occurring crystal core quantum computer, and all the magic within.
But it is everything else too. It's beauty. It's love. It's life. The universe. It's magic.
The Fifth Element and the Electric Force. October 28, 2015. One can look at the ancient texts and philosophy and see that there has been great debate and progress in the fields of science and philosophy for eons. With the theories in the 1800s formulated and in use that states that the universe and everything in it is composed of four basic elements. These are earth, water, air, and fire. One can look at these and see that the ancients were not too far off in correlating and understanding, even one having a simplistic nature. With the introduction of the fifth element to me as the supreme being in the movie The Fifth Element, I'm new to science.
You see here these different peoples, or symbols of people, gathering together the four elements of life: water, fire, earth, air, around a fifth one. A fifth element.
Taking a look at the nature of the universe and all the matter in it, you can see that what the ancients call the elements is actually states of matter. All the elements that make up matter can be in at least four states. The three basic states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas. This is earth, water, and air in the old elements. The fourth state, or element, is fire, or plasma. The fifth state is the electric force. When one looks at the electric force, one can say, what is it? Is it a solid? Is it a liquid? Is it a gas? Is it plasma? It is all of the above. And none at the same time. The electric element is the fifth element, and is tied to life as closely as one could imagine its supreme being tied or interlaced with all life that we know of. All life, to some degree or another, has electric current and electric fields within its organic structure. The fifth element could be said to be the blood of life. Where does the electric field come from? Iron. Okay, so all the elements can be compressed into a magnetic state. The electric field manifests itself the most in the presence of the magnetic fields matter produces. So, okay then, what are magnetic field and where do they come from and how do they work? Remember that matter compresses through the elements from hydrogen all the way to iron, and each element, when under enough pressure without heat, will magnetize.
Consider a magnetic material, made up of many little magnetic dipoles, like little bar magnets that can point in different directions. The equations of motion governing the overall magnetization of this material aren't encoded with some special direction. The whole system could be rotated and nothing would change. This represents the symmetry in our equations. But the individual magnetic particles interact with each other. They want to align with their neighbors. At high enough temperatures, above the Curie temperature in this case, thermal energy causes the particles to rotate randomly, so the overall magnetization of the material is random. However, if we cool the material down, the interactions between magnetic particles can start to come into play. They align with each other. If we cool the system enough, all particles get frozen into one aligned state.
This evolution of matter compressing to iron, and with iron's ability to magnetize larger than any of the other base elements, iron becomes king.
Protoplanets, all of the stellar objects in the universe that have enough mass.
Intense temperatures and pressure ignite nuclear fusion reactions in their cores. Hydrogen gas turns to helium, oxygen, carbon, calcium, silicon, all the way to iron.
The stars, the planets, the moons, the protoplanets, all of the stellar objects in the universe that have enough mass for matter to crystallize to a point where there is a naturally occurring crystal core quantum computer at the very, very, very center of their core.
King iron and its magnetic field and the electric force of life. If electricity is the life force of the universe, one can assume that this is a single force. This is not correct. Life force is a binary system. Just as the universe itself is a binary system. You have two distinct behaviors within the life force. You have aggressive and defensive behaviors, male and female, hunter/gatherer, democratic/republic, etc., etc., etc. Remember, I was thinking out loud and had a million ideas and concepts swirling around in my head. Now, you could look at this and say that all life is either one or the other, and that's why there are boys and girls, though I assure you this correlation is not the case. For life is a balance of these two forces. The more balanced, the more noble the life form. The less balanced, the more irrational and single-sided the life form. These two distinct vibrations in the life force have also been equated to pi and phi, and the formation of life as we know it. Edit, 2023. I was struggling to comprehend what I have now come to realize in my video. What is the macro and micro, as above so below? Watch that video, and when you revisit this, you will clearly see the thought process I was going through when I was writing this article. So, with the electric force also integrated within the dark energy field, with its integration with matter and matter's magnetic field, we see all of this give rise to the universe itself. And here we really do have a chicken or egg situation. What came first, life or matter? If the universe is responsible for the vibrations that give rise to life, then the universe came first? Or, if life arose and gave rise to the universe, but if life is inherent to matter, how could life have awoken without being part of matter from the beginning?
So how can an information-only universe exist without the universe itself being a mind-like substrate? So most of you here obviously would be content to agree with me that there is a universal mind of some form, of some type, even if we don't understand it.
Or God realized that he was more than thought, and through his logic he shook the universe into existence and evolved the rules to adhere to his disposition, where he could vibrate into existence any reality of his choosing, where he could repeat, correct and entangle anything of his desire and always maintain control and even give himself the illusion of will, his will and or the will of others, for God divided himself and declares that all life is infinity divided, reverberating in each direction away from God is the stable reverberations of himself, divisible and indivisible from all. As life is in each and every one of us, life itself is a vibration out from oneself, infinitely moving in each direction away from you.
In fact, there are a lot of them about infinity. I think it's just because the entire concept of infinity is just such a mind blow. Paradoxes and thought experiments around infinity really push you to re-examine what you think is true about reality and space and time. Like, there are infinities going out into the vastness of space, and there are infinities going down small, going down into you. Meaning, in a very real sense, you are an infinite being in an infinite universe.
At which point an expansion of universal proportions occurred and the universe in its infinite possibilities expanded exponentially, falling ever faster into a rebirth, within it an unlimited amount of universes and rebirths all becoming possible, and a happiness, ever expanding and everlasting.
So does this mean that our universe, which was born from a black hole 13.8 billion years ago, was our universe actually birthed from a black hole in another universe? And does that mean that black holes in our universe are doing the same thing? Every black hole could be a seed to a new universe.
For God knows, sees, and feels all is God. Back to present time, where is God? Who is God, and what one of the infinite universes is he in? What does he like to do, and where does he like to go? And can he be trapped like the rest of us? Well, no, God cannot be trapped like the rest of us, because he would be trapping himself, so if he did trap himself, it would just be a game. At the end of his game, he would realize that even if he did somehow trap himself, he could do several things, one of which is reverse time, or he could just move through the trap. So, back to reality and back to the universe and time and place we are in right now. The magic of God. If God is the magic of the universe, learning this magic has been the priority of the intrepid and the brave, the eager and evil, and the strong and stoic alike. For there are powers locked away within the universe that are not under lock and key, but that are available for the taking. The knowledge and power of God himself is available for all.
Skeletor?
My apologies for keeping you in the dark, my dear. But when I was duly destroyed in the orb explosion, I was forced to seek refuge in your worn staff to protect my essence. You did good, Linny. Now, take your rightful place at my side. So, then let me be a god. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power! Now I, Skeletor, am master of the universe!
A chance to strive for and become of God, to rejoin thyself or to empower or even impose upon thyself and others. The power is there, the magic is real, and the belief and consciousness are all capable to harness and power any iteration of reality so desired. Only the difference between us and God is that God is us. God is us. He did not vibrate this universe into existence only to fall asleep and let wills take their way. He devised the universe to support us and to facilitate the creation of our bodies. The human in his relation with God is a test in sensory and emotional responses that are new and unique in many ways to a universe devoid of higher-level consciousness. With the humanoid form and its physical limitations, a perfect experience of both joy and pain and a game God likes to play. The reverberations of an endless and eternal universe gave rise to such a unique set of rules, and a form that could absorb the desires of self and all with the ability to both love and hurt. Both of these emotions absent from the material universe, God gave priority to the humanoid life form, and bent his universe to accommodate and safeguard us. All of course only in one spectrum, one small place in time, though an evolution of possible impossible proportions. God loves us. God loves himself. Love thyself/love God. God loves us, God loves himself. Loving oneself is loving God. Loving others is loving God. God bless us all and loves each and every one of us, because each and every one of us is God.
Dodecahedron, fifth element of ether, or spirit. And when, after having divested yourself of your mortal body, you arrive at the most pure ether, you shall be a god. Pythagoras.
The magic of the physical universe. One can ask, what is God's tricks and what is his magic, and how can I harness the power to expand and further evolve? On a spiritual side, I don't know, and I want to say I could care less, but I have already written papers regarding this very issue. I have already come to the conclusion that spiritual enlightenment is in order for any progress to be made. Before a mass human transcendence can occur, a spiritual awakening must take place. Bygone the days of death and destruction are in order for any real lasting progress within the environment within this universe mankind finds himself. A realization that joy and happiness leads to knowledge, and the desire of knowing all will lead to an all-knowing, will lead to happiness, and that happiness and knowing are one and the same. There is a power inherent of the blind. For the lack of sight is more than compensated for with ability and power, but ability and power in a blind setting cannot lead to happiness, because happiness itself is knowing. You cannot be blind and powerful and happy. Well, you can, and this can work, and if one so chooses to stay blind in bliss, this is possible and very effective in many regards.
Sweet dreams.
Do we have a deal, Mr. Regan?
You know, I know this steak doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. After 9 years, you know what I realize? Ignorance is bliss.
Entire systems and life cycles can operate in the dark and through sheer will and power, maintain a system or a structure, but without progress, these systems always dwindle. But they never let go, and their vibrations are a lesson and entanglement within us all. The battle is simple, the battle is for knowing or not knowing, seeing and enlightenment, or darkness and degradation. A game of degradation could be just as much fun as any other, though magically self-contained. Edit 2023, think of a shrinking black hole, and the infinite time and life cycles that could occur inside the universe of a shrinking black hole, blind to the fact that if their universe keeps shrinking, it will eventually shrink into nothingness, and that for a universe to truly be eternal, it must expand. I think what I was trying to say is hellscapes don't usually expand, they contract. Happy, harmonious, productive systems with joy and cooperation expand. Painful, cannibalistic hellscapes contract. Both these systems and their vibrations have irreversibly entangled and intertwined with our state of consciousness, and have cut deep into the fabric of the universe itself, something God is all too happy to accommodate. It gives him his yin and yang and a game to play. A real challenge of oneself, temptation and an easy path or sustentation, and the path of knowledge of oneself, others and the universe as a whole. Both of these giving rise to choice, and with this choice a real investment and entrapment of the conscious. Let the games begin. Where's the magic, you ask for? The magic is in the stones. More, the crystals.
You're not welcome here, devil.
You come in peace, say so. Otherwise, prepare to meet your doom.
Oh, brave Fabius. You murdered my Cyclops. But I have other perils in store for you. Ones that are beyond the bounds of your imagination. One in particular, involving an ancient prophecy destined to be fulfilled by a powerful warlock. Me. And of course, a very beautiful virgin that looks just like her. I was keeping that one for something very special. And I dare say it was rude of you to steal her from me. Now I'm here to get her back.
And just how do you plan on doing that?
Magic.
motherfucker.
Not a moment more. Knights to arms! Take him! Do you honestly think your band of worms can stop me?
I know you are saying, really freaking crystals. Are you kidding me? Nope, I assure you, this is no joke. Just like the sorcerer has stars upon his head/hat, or a crystal atop the shaft/staff, perfectly aligned to his forehead, the power of matter is the magic in this place we are in. Even within our own bodies and in the exact center of our brains is a crystal, the pineal gland. This crystal is connected to a black hole, and this crystal is able to impose and decohere the realities of all life and matter in the universe. This black hole is a quantum computer, and with it, all knowledge and God himself are accessible. The spirit, through the pineal gland, resides within the body of the individual, though the body has its own spirit that is separate from the God spirit. The body has its own force, power, or spirit that has one main purpose: preservation of the body and its organic lineage, its past and its future. With this, the body spirit has devised a memory system it can entangle in the fabric of the universe or in spacetime, and it can encode this memory through matter.
David, I often felt a sort of envy of human beings, of that thing they called spirit. Human beings had created a million explanations of the meaning of life in art, in poetry, in mathematical formulas. Certainly human beings must be the key to the meaning of existence, but human beings no longer existed. So, we began a project that would make it possible to recreate the living body of a person long dead from the DNA in a fragment of bone or mummified skin. We also wondered, would it be possible to retrieve a memory trace in resonance with a recreated body? And you know what we found? We found the very fabric of space-time itself appeared to store information about every event which had ever occurred in the past.
With this, the body spirit has devised a memory system it can entangle in the fabric of the universe or in spacetime, and it can encode this memory through matter. This is the basis of our DNA, and this is a spirit in and of itself. The DNA and lineage of the organic body takes on a spiritual nature, to go along with the God spirit, the body spirit, and the Mother Nature spirit, all of which embrace the body. So, with the spirit of the will and the world, I give you the right side of dark energy, a universal construct. And in it, I break down this. The universe is the vibration of iron. The universe is iron crystallized, and the electric field it generates is the force of the universe and the power of God. Edit 2023. I got a little lost in the woods here, but if you have been following along, I think you know that I have now realized exactly what I was trying to say, and while I am still working on honing my presentations and formulations for how the universe works. If you watch my Majestic Crystal Universe playlist, you know what I was trying to say. Dark crystals are iron crystals harvested from black holes. The power of the people capable of this are rewarded with the wish of desire, and their desire is their wish, and it is so. The dark crystal is the power of God himself, only on a mighty smaller scale. I don't know if you were God, would you create the universe to cascade into a cascade of matter where each universe gives rise to and births an unlimited amount of new universes, each birthing their own universes, an infinite exponential process of iron crystallizing and dropping in dimensional planes, each of which gives rise to more and more. And with this, a freedom of conquest. Physics, probability, and the intent of God to stabilize the universe itself leads to one hell of a garden to play in. Got any dark crystals? Orion Michael Guy.